Hey everyone, Andrew McCaskill here, your resident YouTube career coach. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. We've got so much career focused, job search focused and business building focused content that we want to share with you guys. We're really committed to trying to create an ecosystem here where we help eliminate career-based misery. So join us on that journey, join in with our community and subscribe below. Now, this particular topic that we wanted to talk about today is a really, really important one, because if you've clicked on this, someone that you care about has probably just been made redundant. And it's really, really tough. It's tough to see friends or loved ones go through that sort of transition and go through receiving that sort of bad news. Because you can see they're struggling, right? And to be honest, redundancy doesn't just affect one person, it affects a whole household. Like, that energy comes into your life when somebody that you care about has been made redundant. Now, what we want to do today is give you some guidance around how you might be able to help somebody that you care about that has been made redundant. So where to start? You know you want to do good by them. And look, some people in trying to say the right thing actually end up saying the wrong thing. So a lot of people say to their other halves or their friends, oh, don't worry, you'll get snapped up. Or this could be the best thing that ever happened to you. Or why don't you just go and do Uber or Amazon driving for a bit? Like, all of this sort of advice that comes out, normally from absolutely the right place, right? Like, I understand where it's coming from, but I assure you it doesn't really help the person that you're trying to look after. And redundancy is like a grieving process. That's the way you need to think about it. What your friend or your partner is going through right now is a grieving process. So they're going to go through anger and denial, and they're going to go through stressful lows, and then our job is really just to be there to support them, to help them come out the other side. But think of it like a grieving process, because that's what you're dealing with. So how do we help people through this grieving process? Well, my first tip on this might surprise you, and that is, when you have somebody nearby who's been made redundant, what I want you to do is to ask them for help. To ask them for help. So this is a bit of a switch, right? Because our natural inclination is to try and help the person. Yeah? So we think, right, this person's in trouble, let's work out how we can help them. And that's great, there's no downside to that. But an even more powerful thing is to ask them for help. And I'll tell you why. It's because when you ask somebody for help, you remind them of the value that they bring. And when you've been made redundant and your inner critic is rearing up and your confidence is feeling hit, you can sometimes forget the value that you bring. So that simple act of asking somebody for help could be a work-based thing, could be a personal-based thing, whatever it might be, find an excuse to ask them for help, because that's a great place to start. So on top of that, another way you can really help the person who's been made redundant is through practice. So we're talking about interview practice here. Most people are better at helping other people than they are themselves, right? So your ability to help somebody interview better is fantastic, even if you don't think you're a great interviewer yourself. So the best way to go about this is to jump on to a video call or to actually get face-to-face and to help them practice explaining who they are, talking through their strengths and weaknesses, discussing their CV and their background, and talking through any kind of competency-based interview questions that they're going to come up with. Because the more rehearsed you can help your loved one be, the better they're going to perform in their job search once they get out there to market. So get some practice in them with it there as well. And finally, the other thing I want you to think about is about promoting them, because there's nothing better than promoting somebody who needs your help. So what can you do to promote them? Well, for a start, a really good way is just to make sure you're liking or commenting on any content that they put out. You know, give them the gift of your engagement, but also think about where you might be able to promote them to your own network. It might be to people that could hire them, or it might be to people who are just super well connected and might have some advice or further introductions for them. But introductions are so powerful in the job market. So anything you can do to connect your loved ones with people who are well connected is going to be a massive boost for them. On top of that, I think what you can also do as a final point is contribute to the person's structure. When you are waking up at home every morning without a job to go to, structure is your friend. So the types of things we've seen work really well is taking people for a walk every morning, for almost like a fake commute, so that they're sticking to some sort of routine and structure, but also helping them structure their day. So whether you're meeting them for lunch to discuss what they're going to be doing that afternoon, or meeting them in the afternoon to do some of that interview prep we were discussing earlier, the more you can add to the structure the individual feels, the better you're going to be. So look, good luck. It's a really tough thing to help people through redundancy, but trust me when I say they will be okay. Yeah, this might actually end up being the redirection that they needed, but bear in mind it's a grieving process. Work through some of the tips that we put in this interview, and we just wish you the best of luck, including your loved one who's been made redundant. Go get them.